Get this cavitation plate here as even as you can get with the bottom, no more than a 1/4 inch high or low. I've got it exact. If I trim it to the right spot, perfect. Trim it down, catch a little more water, trim it up, get it a little higher top speed. That's exactly how you want it. Now once you got your position set on your hoses so that they turn freely, I've got mine pointing in. Zip tie just lightly holding them together there so they don't get away from each other. These are nice and tight, but I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to show you what you want to do with your hydraulic steering. It involves this stuff. This isn't a red tube, but this is blue thread locker. I don't know why Loctite puts it in a red tube, but they do. So this is the removable kind. Removable 242. I'm going to loosen these just a hair on each, drip a little bit of this down onto the threads, and retighten these. And that way they won't come rattling loose when you're flying down the river. These are little lock nuts. This is all going to stay intact, and there's an O-ring in there, so it's not going to leak when I do this. Knock on wood, wherever there's some wood. Knock on wood. So what you're going to do is you're just going to hold this, back off your lock nut, get to where you can see the threads. I'm just going to drip a tiny bit down in there. And you're going to retighten it. Hold your fitting while you do this. I'm just going to re-tighten that. And that'll assure that doesn't come loose while you're driving. Okay, I'm going to do the other side. On my big fat belly, if you guys can see it. It's harmless. Whoop. Okay. Loosen that a bit. Use a little touch on it. Mind the loud fan over there. Can't survive out here in Florida without it. I'm going to just drip a little right into those threads right there. Not much. We're going to tighten that snug. And then we are going to attach the wrench. You don't have to go super tight, just really tight, because that locker is going to do the work for you. Now, you guys see there's another fitting here. Right here, I used 1 wrap of Teflon tape, no more. Super even around, don't leave a big lump. I put that on top of some of that blue thread locker. So these are thread locked as well. And I did that up front too, underneath there. So we've got this attached, tightened. Now all I got to do is drill some holes down here through the back and put those bottom bolts in, and the engine is mounted and complete and ready to go. Alright, so you're going to want to attach your fuel line so it does not rub on this steering anywhere. Okay? So this is not going to slide in and out. This moves. So you're going to want to run it through this opening so it can't go out here and get caught on anything. Leave it so it doesn't rub. Put a little attaching screw right here with a little hose clamp. And then when your hose runs around down here, you don't want it laying in the water, and you don't want it rubbing, and you don't want to get it caught in between the tank and that wall. So what I do is I make a little loop, a loose zip tie. Never zip tie fuel lines tight. Never zip tie fuel lines tight. Let's make a loose zip tie there, a loose zip tie here with a nice little loop, and then just capture it in that handle, and that will keep it out of the way of everything. And basically, you are clear, and you don't have to worry about your fuel line getting hooked on anything, except for your fishing pole. If you're reeling in a lure and you catch your fuel line, well, that's your fault, not mine.